So your malpractice agent has brought you quotes for both occurrence and claims-made coverage options. How do you know which one is right for you? Well, this is episode 2 of a 2-part series on how to choose the right type of malpractice insurance. And today I'm going to give you 5 reasons why claims-made coverage might be right for you. If you want to catch the first part of this series on occurrence coverage, check the link in our show notes. But for now, let's talk about claims-made coverage. Stay tuned. Welcome to Malpractice Insights, the show dedicated to helping healthcare professionals understand medical malpractice insurance and providing you with the solutions you need so that you can get back to the work of practicing good medicine. My name is Jennifer Wiggins, CEO of Aegis Malpractice Solutions, and I'm so glad you've joined us today. All right, let's jump in. So, as we've talked about before, there are 2 different types of malpractice policies that you can buy: claims made and occurrence. In order to make sure you're setting yourself up for success down the road, it's important to know what makes these policies different. And as a reminder, the easiest way to remember these differences is this: the name of the policy will tell you how the coverage is triggered. So if you have an occurrence policy, your malpractice coverage is triggered based on when the incident actually occurred. If you have a claims-made policy, your malpractice coverage is triggered based on when the claim is made against you. Occurrence coverage, as we've just talked about before, is the most flexible policy type available. And with this type of insurance, you only need to carry the policy while you're actively practicing. When you're done, you can simply cancel the policy and walk away. There is no need for tail insurance when you have an occurrence policy. If a claim is filed later on for a patient that you treated during the years when you were covered on the occurrence policy, that insurance will respond to cover you for the event. Occurrence coverage does tend to be a little more expensive on an annual basis as compared to a fully mature claims-made policy. But because you don't have to buy the tail insurance at the end, the long-term cost differential is nearly identical. So now let's look at claims-made coverage. A provider who has claims-made coverage must carry the insurance while they are actively practicing, but once they cancel the policy, they must secure tail insurance. Tail covers a healthcare provider from their cancellation date into the future for any filed claims that may still be made against them for patients that they treated during the years when they were covered under the claims-made policy. Claims-made premiums start out at a low price in year 1, but then they go up every year for 5 years until it reaches the mature rate. After this, the price remains stable. Tail insurance will cost you typically 1.5 to 2 times your mature premium. So when you're looking at the total cost for a claims-made policy, it's important to look at the premiums that you'll be paying each year as well as the tail cost that you'll be responsible for at the end. We do have a whole episode dedicated to unpacking the differences between occurrence and claims-made coverage, and I would highly recommend that you check that episode out if you haven't already. So we'll drop a link for you here on the screen and also in the show notes so that you can check that one out after you're done with today's episode. Okay, so we're going to talk about the issue of the day, and that is, why would a healthcare provider pick a claims-made policy over an occurrence policy? Well, reason number 1 why you might choose a claims-made policy is it's a lower initial price point, especially in the first few years. The claims-made policy is much more affordable, particularly for doctors who are just starting their practice. Remember that claims-made policies start out at a low rate, but then they do increase in price every year for 5 years until they reach the mature rate. So if you're just getting started and budgets are tight, claims-made may be a much more effective option for you to get started. All right, reason number 2 why you might choose a claims-made policy is it's easy to find. Claims-made is the baseline insurance product across the market, so you can find this type of malpractice insurance anywhere you go. Every malpractice carrier offers claims-made coverage, but only a handful will offer occurrence. So it's much easier for doctors to find claims-made policies. It's often the only option available. Depending on where you practice, coverage availability might be really limited. For example, in areas where litigation is higher and the risk is greater to the carrier, they will often only offer a claims-made solution. Reason number 3 why a provider might want to choose claims-made coverage is you're already insured on a claims-made policy and you need to carry forward your prior acts. If you are switching jobs or changing malpractice insurance carriers, in most instances, a doctor does not need to buy tail insurance to simply move their policy. Most malpractice insurance carriers offer prior acts or nose coverage, which allows you to carry forward your current policy retroactive date, transferring to the new carrier any potential claims for services that were rendered back to that initial retro date. For this reason, if you're currently on a claims-made policy, it probably makes sense for you to stay on a claims-made policy to continue that retroactive coverage going forward so that you can delay the need for tail insurance as long as possible. Okay, moving on to reason number 4, why you might choose claims-made coverage is that you're close to retirement age and you want to earn that free tail. Nearly every malpractice insurance carrier offers free tail insurance to providers when they fully retire from the practice of medicine. If you're near the end of your career, it will likely be less expensive for you to go with a claims-made insurance policy and simply carry the coverage until retirement, and then cash in that free tail when you finally close things down. And finally, reason number 5, why you might want to choose a claims-made policy is it's a portable policy. Remember, we just talked about how you can switch to a new insurance company and carry forward your prior acts so that you don't have to buy tail insurance when you change policies? Well, that's a really important factor, particularly if you're insured by a company that's a little bit smaller or more risky, such as a risk retention group or a self-insured program. Let's say your group decides to join a local coalition of doctors who are pooling all of their money together to set up their own insurance program. I would highly encourage you to get a claims-made policy in this instance, because just in case something happens and this carrier isn't going to be around in a few years, then you can move your claims-made policy to a new carrier and request that your prior acts be carried forward. If you were to buy an occurrence policy with them, then you would have been locked in, and that policy would forever be with them to cover you for any future filed claims. So you'd better hope that they're still around to cover those expenses for you. For this reason, claims-made is a nice move because you can simply carry forward to a new company if you're not happy where you're at. Remember, there is no right or wrong type of malpractice insurance to buy. It just depends on your unique practice situation. If you're not sure which policy type is right for you, contact a knowledgeable malpractice insurance agent for help and guidance. This is a lot of information, I know, but don't worry, we've got you covered. We've put together an overview of the differences between claims-made and occurrence coverage in a free download that you can access in the show notes for this episode. Or if you're watching here on YouTube, click the description box below. If you have any questions on this topic or you want to make sure that you're covered appropriately, click the link in the description box where you can connect with us via phone, email, or chat today. And if you're listening, please visit us online at aegismalpractice.com. That's AEGIS, malpractice.com. And of course, if you haven't done so already, don't forget to give us a like and a follow. And I'd really love your feedback if you could please leave me a review. Your support really does help us to reach more people, and we're so grateful for your clicks and your kind words. This is Jennifer Wiggins. Thanks for joining us.